What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Popculture Anonymous. How my friend Ish said it originally, a gathering of geeks. Now, my name's Tony. I collect statues. I like comics, movies, and a little bit of everything. We're going to introduce ourselves. Let's get started with our left-hand side. And I don't know if we have the same screen, but I have Cheska on the first screen there.
Hey guys, it's Cheska here. You guys can find me on Twitter at the Cheska, and also YouTube at Cheska Collects. Same thing like Tony, mainly comics, statues, anything fun and pop culture related. I'm pretty interested in.
And then next we have the beautiful, hiding her head with a hat, Gina.
I'm covering my hair. Hi, so I'm Gina, and you can find me on YouTube with Gina Be Collecting. And yeah, I like statues. And upset.
Yeah,
and last but not least, we have the bearded wonder.
I am Zach, also known as High Expectations, and love Marvel, X-Men, even though I haven't seen it yet. Forgive me. Can't wait to get it on. The chat, that is.
Before we get started, Gina, your hair, I just have to say, like, it comes off so shiny, like, on screen.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You should be, like, in one of those hair commercials.
Yeah, what about my beard, though?
I know, do you use beard oils? Both of you guys.
Smell like the beard of Zeus over here.
We can have our own little cosplay on the show, guys. We can just take on a different character. Well, this is fun.
Have you seen some of the names for the beard oil? Sorry to interrupt you. I think my timing's off. Have you seen some of the names for the beard oils? They're ridiculous. Like,
dude, they're so funny.
Like you just said, like the beard of Zeus, sulfur, or some shit like that.
Well, first, we gotta start off by giving everybody else a little bit of shit for not being on right now. Where are you people?
Ish has a good excuse, though. He's visiting family, and Daniel also had a lot of stuff come up this week.
No excuses. I want to see you.
Captain House Shoes should be up and center every single show. I don't know what to tell you.
We're gonna lose our sponsorship. Like that. All right, guys. Well, we're still gonna have a good time. We're a good group of people.
Yeah. What the hell is?
We have some pretty fun stuff to talk about. Do we want to start off by talking about just a brief, not a whole lot of movie stuff has come out, and the new people that watched X-Men aren't even here, so we again can't really talk about that. But you have one more week to watch it, Zach.
Perfect.
But Gina and I were just looking some stuff up, and the brief amount of things. So Warcraft is opening up this week, and yes, it's kind of getting some lukewarm reviews, but China seems to be loving it, so there's something.
Yeah, I was surprised when Jessica mentioned the gross or the gross money it made in China. I was surprised.
What was it? What was it? 40? What did you say?
I think just that it was like the second biggest opening for China ever, and yeah, it was like 40 million.
From game fans, or was it?
I think, don't they love, is it China or is it Korea? Isn't there like one of those countries that loves like MMOs or like StarCraft type games? Who is it?
Yeah, I know Korea is heavy into those role-playing games. But yeah, I'm surprised that it's going to be good because I know the critic reviews of that movie is not very good. So, which I'm sort of surprised at as well, because I know that in this day and age now, all these statue companies have a lot more creative control of their movies. So there was a lot of talk and a lot of articles written about sort of these video game movies were sort of turning a tide and were going to be better for the future. But this movie seems to be, I don't know, just in the critics' eyes, it seems to be a dud. I don't know.
Well, for the WoW fans, this movie has been a long time coming, I think, right? I mean, this was a long time in the making. People trying to get this on a roll for a long time, and I don't know. I still think, at least from the previews, it looks like it's at least going to be entertaining to watch. I like the I don't know the guy's name, but the guy who plays Ragnarok in Vikings, he's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
You
You know,
know
it's
they're
weird. He looks
CGI.
like the guy from Sons of Anarchy. It's so uncanny. Like, it's creepy, like, how much they look alike. I'm gonna watch it when it comes out, because, like, I was telling these fun people off air, one of my best friends is moving away, and she's a huge World of Warcraft fan, so I told her, even though I've never played WoW and I'm not really into MMOs, I think it still looks just like a fun little blockbuster movie. And I was actually listening to a Game Informer podcast where they had I think Duncan Jones is the director's name on there, and he is like a huge fan of World of Warcraft. Like, he put, I think, some of his guild members into the game, but he seemed really passionate about the movie. So it's actually really kind of disheartening and sad to hear that it's not doing quite as well, because I'm sure that's really heartbreaking for him. Being that not only did he pour a lot of time into this movie, but it's something that he actually had, it's not just a movie that he's making for money. It was something he made because he has a true love for the game. And I think anytime that happens, anytime someone puts a lot of effort into something and then it doesn't turn out how they want, I think that sucks.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean,
Just
to be fair,
as
though.
a hater,
Go on,
as a
sir.
hater that I think people think I am, when it comes to everything, I even earned the name of Double D for Debbie Downer. I think that it has a lot to do with the way the graphics look. When I first saw the first preview, unfortunately, I thought it looked very, very much like a cartoon more than a movie, like a live movie. But the more I watch it, the more interested I am. And I played WoW early on when the first stage was to get down to level 40. And I enjoyed it quite a bit, so it should be interesting to see how they developed it into a movie.
See, and I played Diablo, and I knew that those games, man, they'll suck your life away. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to play it again. I collected all the ruins. I'm done with this.
Can you guys name any video game that you guys liked? Because it seems like there's always like a really dark shadow that hangs over these movies. It's just like, even if someone likes them, they're always like, oh, it was good for a video game movie. It's never necessarily like, oh, that was a great movie. So I know that later on this year we're getting Assassin's Creed, and that actually looks very promising.
Yeah.
But there's been other stuff. I mean, there's been the Mortal Kombat movies, the Street Fighter movies, Silent Hill, Resident Evil. There you go.
Combat movie was good, especially when the time it came out. Man, I loved that when I was younger. I loved it. I mean, you try to compare that
best video game movie ever was Doom.
Was that with the Rock with Dwayne Johnson?
I don't know about that.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
I'm trying to rack my brain over that question, Jessica. I can't think of a good video game. I mean, I guess Resident Evil, the very first one, but even that wasn't that great.
I think it's probably the longest standing series. It's had the most movies made based off of
But for some reason, I mean, it's weird because, as I was saying before, like all these articles are written now about all these video game companies have a lot more creative control over these movies. And it seems, unfortunately, with Warcraft. But just to be fair to Warcraft, though, the negative reviews I've read were from movie critics who I don't believe were previous fans or game players of
the series.
Of the series. So it'd be really interesting. I would like to hear someone who's a big fan of the game. I would like to hear their take on the movie. Just to be fair, because they may actually enjoy it.
I agree. I no longer listen to what the critics say as much as I used to. Fortunately, the last couple of movies I've actually like X-Men, I really enjoyed, and thanks to SAC, we can't really talk about it. But
it was tanked by.
It's really disappointing. Yeah, it's really disappointing to see that. It got cockblocked majorly.
The X-Men? Are you talking about X-Men?
That's all I gotta say.
Do you guys think? Actually, I want to say I know it's not technically a live action movie, but I did like a lot of. I liked Advent Children, which is based off. It was a Final Fantasy movie, but it's a feature film. It's just not live action. That's a pretty good movie. But speaking of X-Men, do you guys think that one of the reasons it maybe doesn't do quite as well is because it's not, even though X-Men are a Marvel property, in terms of the comic books, but do you think that maybe it doesn't do quite as well? And same thing for Fantastic Four in a sense, because they're owned by Fox, and people just, they're such hardcore fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that maybe it's like a competition and they like automatically go into these movies wanting to dislike them. I know it's kind of a weird question, and we want to think that just as fans of this medium in general, like we would all just automatically, okay, well this is a movie based off of a comic that we're fans of, like, you know, we want to be optimistic and like it, but they automatically go in there thinking, oh, it's not made by Marvel, it's going to suck, and they kind of go in there with that stigma and that judgment.
I know,
I think that it goes more along the lines to where, I'm so sorry, Zach, I keep interrupting you, it's terrible. I think it goes more along the lines, in my opinion, to where the customs, that the outfits that they wear are not what we grew up watching. I think it goes along more to where you go to the movies and Fox is trying to make comics into something hip or cool as they may want to see them. Like, oh, they can't wear a yellow and blue suit, you know? But Marvel is doing that. They're putting them in the same suits and they're making good movies.
It's more true to the actual
the difference comes in and why. Correct.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Gina, what do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's I think it's a really good question because actually Kevin Feige was actually involved with the very first X-Men movie. I'm not sure if you realize that. He was involved with that movie. So it's interesting to see that now who's now in charge of the Marvel Studios and how they're running, how he's taken these films into a different direction. Yeah, I think some people walk in sort of already biased, so they walk into the X-Men films already biased. They prefer the Marvel films. But I also think it's more than just that. I think others are just tired of the X-Men series. It's been going the same path, in the same direction. It's the same art direction. It's the same look. The stories are not as intelligent, as mature, or maybe as intelligent. They're not as mature as the DC movies. And they are not as, I think the plot is not as involved as the Marvel movies. So I think they're a step below maybe on that aspect. So
that's really interesting. I didn't know that he was involved with the first Marvel movie, and that's good because it kind of then ties into what, you know, Tony just said, where like he said they're not as close to the source material because the first X-Men movie was probably the closest to what we would expect from the X-Men. You know, in terms of looks, in terms of what the movie was about. I think that's a really good, because if there's one thing Marvel has done really well, it's trying to maintain as close to the source material as they possibly can. Of course, like they're gonna tweak things here and there to satisfy not only like the fact that they have to maintain, you know, they have to fill all this content into like a 2.5 hour movie, but you know, there's some things that they just physically can't bring to the big screen. So that's really interesting. Like I didn't know that. Well, like even like TMNT, like in terms of not following what critics say, because that movie is getting horrible reviews too. I think it's getting actually worse than X-Men did, but I still want to see it. I did like the first remake of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie enough. It is a completely different direction, but I mean, we're in modern times. I don't know that I would enjoy. I do like the 90s TMNT movies, but that's also because of nostalgia. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. If they brought back those creepy costumes in today's day and age, I don't think it would do well either. Like, they're little claymate type of characters. So I think with the type of technology we have nowadays, like, we have to expect a different look for the Turtles. And for what they did, like Michael Bay did, I don't think it's bad. And I do still want to see the new movies, despite
actually I haven't seen the last movie, the first movie. Right. So tell me your guys' opinion. Is Megan Fox a good April? Like, I haven't watched those movies. Is she decent or?
I think she's decent. I don't think she's awful. I think she's serviceable, but I also didn't think she was that bad in the Transformer movies either. So I'm like, I'm totally the wrong person. I don't get the whole like Megan Fox hate, because I actually kind of respect her because she's a total nerd herself. Like, I think in an interview she talked about how she loves Pokemon, which how many, like, I'm not saying she's a Class A actress, like, you know, she's not really been in a really good serious film that I can remember right now, but she's a very beautiful woman, you know, and I think it takes like a lot of guts to say that on screen because a lot of people would probably be embarrassed. So for that reason alone, I do respect her, and she does seem like she's a legit like nerd. And I mean, look at the films. A lot of the films she's done have been action geeky type movies.
Well, for me with her, Transformers, I don't have any gripes with her. You know, like even the movies, those movies themselves weren't as bad as everyone hated on. Just kind of very entertaining. But the Turtles, you guys know that I love the Turtles movie. I actually really enjoy it. My family really enjoys it. But the one thing I don't like, if I were to pick one thing that I just don't like, is Megan Fox. If you look at her, there's a couple scenes in there that just are such poor acting. That, like when she's like trying to explain to Oprah about like the different things, and she's trying to like act panicked. That's one of the worst scenes I've ever seen, like anybody of all time. But and then also the part where the plot that they changed so much for April being so much more involved in the Turtles' like whole life, and it all revolved around Megan Fox.
Yeah.
I didn't like that direction that they went with that, but I still love the movie. Again, it's just an entertainment for me. And then, it's just...
It's stupid, silly fun. That's how I would describe it. Like, Gina, do you have Hulu?
I think we have it available in Canada, but I don't.
Okay, I was gonna say the movie's on there for free. Well, I mean, not for free because you're paying the the monthly fee, but I'm saying it is on there if you have it already.
Yeah.
I got the DVD one with the masks and everything.
Yeah, I think that'd be a movie I would have to wait for it to come on TV for free. It's one of those Phoebe movies I'd wait for and then I'll catch it.
Probably even on like HBO. I don't know what Canada has in terms of their services, but I know that it's.
I'll catch it. No, I'll catch it one of these days. It's not something that I would go and see, but I'll catch it. But I still like the original actress who played April, just in the original movie.
She's actually in the 100 show, and she looks amazing for like. Honestly, she has not changed much from. I think it's Paige Trucco is the actress's name.
Is that her name? Okay.
I think so. She has not changed much from her time between the two.
Because I remember seeing the original Turtles movie from the '90s in the theater, and I remembered how well that she to me she suited the character of April so perfectly. That like original actress. So.
Ishmael would like us to address Megan Fox's thumbs that she has that look like toes. Yeah, that is something that exists. It's
her toe thumbs do creep me out. Just so you know.
They do, but I mean,
because I'm not sure what we're talking.
Yes, I will find this for you. Megan Fox.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Hey, no, pull them up. They look like little toes.
Thumbs.
Now I'm thinking about her toes every time I watch the Turtles movie with my kid, and just like, oh
man. Hey, it's funny because they get hand models for her, so they have hand doubles for her.
No way! Shut up.
Yeah, they do. Anytime she's holding a cup and they like zoom in on the cup or something, it's not her hand. Watch movies next time. Pay attention to her hands and then look at the hands when she's holding stuff.
Well, here's it's a comparison picture. Let me see if I can view image. And...
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's excited to.
We're searching Megan Fox's fingers.
Okay, I'm screen sharing, so you have to click on my name to see.
What is happening?
It's so gross. Ugh. Poor thing, though. What sucks is I don't think it's not really something plastic surgery can fix either. Like, what are they gonna do? Cut her fucking thumb out? You can't fix that. She's stuck with it forever.
You suck.
I would like Mike to weigh in on this. Mike is.
We don't want Mike to get into an accident.
I think that she accidentally got in contact with that turtle ooze. She got mutated from that shit.
Alright, well, I think it's gonna until gosh, what comes out next week? So we have Warcraft this week. Next week I think is Finding Dory. I think in terms of like comic book related movies, nothing's really coming out again until Suicide Squad, which is until August, right? Is there anything in July that you guys can?
When is Star Trek coming out?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm not excited for that movie, man. I'm not.
Yeah, I want to watch it. You're not?
Yeah? No. No,
You
I'll
didn't
be
like the last one?
I didn't like number 2. I loved the first one, but I didn't like Into the Darkness. And
You're Debbie Downer.
I'll be the Debbie Downer for now. Oh, I did not like Into the Darkness. They just
Star Trek Beyond comes out July 22nd.
Okay. I will not be there. Unless the reviews are amazing, then I'll be like, okay, so there's something I missed in the trailer, so I might check it out. But other than that, I'm not gonna. This does not look good.
Comes out July 15th.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they just can't do Klingons. I don't know why they just. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, hopefully some good things that we can talk about that at least keep our interest. I know that I mentioned earlier, but it was offline. The Killing Joke is actually going to be available to watch in select theaters when that comes out at the end of July. That's really neat for such a popular main storyline. And DC Animated really kills it with their movies. The last movie that came out, Batman Bad Blood, I thought that movie was really good. It was actually it's surprising that it was really mature for its probably. Well, no, actually, if you think about it, because most of the people that watch it are people like us, but there was a lot of sexual jokes in it. It had Kate Kane, who is Batwoman, who is a known lesbian, and it had her in there, which I'm pretty sure they showed her in a relationship with another woman, or at least flirting with another woman. I love that direction. Like, I love that they do maintain a lot of the, they maintain a lot of the genuine, like what were we just talking about? Like, it's close to its source material, just like it is in the book. So, and The Killing Joke is a very mature storyline. Alan Moore is dark as fuck. So, we'll have to see. Okay, well, do we want to talk a little bit about some statues?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me pull up.
Mike's ready.
I just got in a piece today. Well, actually, you know what? It wasn't today. It was the Arkham Asylum Joker premium format exclusive.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I got it in about a week ago, but I wanted to wait to open it for an unboxing for my channel, But so yeah,
That's
finally
awesome.
opened it up today. It looks pretty good, man.
Congrats.
Nice. Yeah, that's a killer one. I like
That is great.
Something that kind of has like a Jack Nicholson touch in there, I think.
Yeah, that's what my girl said. She was like, "Is that Jack Nicholson?"
Yeah, it's got that touch.
Yeah. Did you get the exclusive, Mike?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hey, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Nah, go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead. Hurry up. Come on.
I'm gonna display it with the EX this time. Because you guys know how it is, man. Most of those EXs don't really matter, but this one I really like the EX on it.
Yeah, me too. That other portrait is really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let me pull up my little folder that I have.
Did you guys hear about the live-action SpongeBob movie that's coming up?
I took everything I had to keep myself together when I read that message. So we cannot start this right now.
You may be able to catch it.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait, wrong place.
You guys are good, man.
Is that real or is that a joke? I can't even tell. It's the SpongeBob live action.
It's a joke.
Hey Tony, I gotta ask you, bro. That shelf on the right hand side, your left hand side, what is that? What kind of shelf is that?
These are actually not D-tops, bro. They're the bigger, like the wardrobe.
Oh, the packs?
Yeah. So this is a half size, and that one's like a quarter size pack. They used to have them back in the day. They don't have them anymore though.
Oh, they don't have the quarter size packs?
Nah.
Yeah,
because these two would make one size.
I've never seen that one on your left.
Yeah. But the difference is instead of buying the doors, because I couldn't get like a rolling door for them because they were the individual ones. I had these doors made for them. I'm waiting to get the glass for them. But where is it? See?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Actually, I'll be right back. There's someone.
Yeah, I was wondering why the outside of the frame was so thick, but it's actually.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that it was going to be able to hold some weight on it, because I think I'm gonna put some nice glass on it. We'll see. I just didn't want it to be like plexiglass or anything like that.
Yeah.
We might go with some beveled. We'll see. Don't be checking out my statues, bro. You got plenty of your own, hoarder.
I like that setup with all the sirens right there, and then Batgirl. Really like that Batgirl, man. The gold, man. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, I love her. She's one of my favorites that my wife has.
Yeah, that was definitely a home run from Sideshow.
Yup. Anyone else get any other statues? Zach?
No.
I ended up getting Cheetah for my wife for her birthday out of the Bombshell line. She actually looks really good.
Yeah, that piece looks really nice. I like that.
Yeah, we went to the comic shop and
Jessica,
they have it
are you
out,
getting that
and I
one
was
too?
like, oh, great. Huh? What's up, Mike?
I think he froze.
Yeah, I think he was asking. Yeah, I think he was asking if Jessica got it.
Jessica, you got that figure too, or no?
Which one?
The Bombshell line? Cheetah?
No, I actually kind of stopped collecting them. Like, I think the last one I got was maybe Lois. I don't have any of the villains. I'm just kind of sticking with the heroes. I do like that Cheetah one though. It's really nice.
You know what's sad? I'm thinking of taking the October or the Halloween one that they're coming out with, the Batgirl, and having her repaint it in the regular colors.
Oh, did you guys not have that one?
No, I have it. It just looks the hair on the one for Halloween looks way better because she's not wearing that helmet.
Oh, I think doesn't she have something that's like pokey?
Well, her teeth they look like fangs, but that can be fixed.
Hey, a lot of those Bombshell statues right now are 40% off on Midtown.
No way, really?
Yeah, you really got to pay attention.
Man.
You got to pay attention to their website. They go 40% all the time.
Midtown Comics has a lot of good deals a lot of times.
Well, if they happen to find some Harleys, buy like 10 of them, bro. And you get you some PFs for those.
It's ridiculously expensive, and then the Bombshell. So I ended up selling my the Black Canary Bombshell, and that went for a pretty price.
Yeah, I know it's over 300 now, right?
Yeah, it was over 300.
And I know, what is it? The Harley's over almost at 6 right now.
That one's the most expensive. So that's the most expensive one. Then the Black Canary, and then the Batgirl.
There's like a black and gray version of that same statue coming out too pretty soon. So I know people are gonna be jumping on that.
For the Harley.
Yeah, it's just they're doing a black and gray variant.
She sold out really quickly.
Yo.
Go ahead, Zach. They still look like and maybe that sale ended. Because they're all, so maybe that sale ended that Mike was just talking about, because they're still,
It's not up anymore, the 40% off statue sale?
I don't see it on their website, but maybe I'm looking at the wrong place. And I looked up, like, DC Bombshells. I'll look more in depth after, but I'll pull up the screen that I have.
Yeah, they had that sell up for about 2 weeks already, so they might have taken it down by now.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay.
I think Jen wants to get them all. The only one that she's really not liking right now is the what is it, Superman, and it's that duet. It's like a Carmi, and she's like, it's Power Girl, right? She's holding them all up.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
All right, is this working now, guys? Does it have the...
Oh, I don't want that. It looks horrible.
No, it's just showing the video.
Really? Damn. I don't know how you guys do it. Okay, maybe.
You have to have it in your front thing.
Does that one work now?
That works.
Yep.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
One
Okay.
there.
So this is the Prime One Studio Batgirl. So they had initially shown the concept, and now this is just kind of a little preview of what the color app is going to be like. I know that is anyone of us getting anything from Prime One in terms of the Batman line?
I'm getting the Harley Quinn.
Yeah. I have about 5 of those statues on order already.
No way, really? Like of the whole Arkham City line?
Yeah.
Which ones are you getting?
Batman Beyond, Two-Face, Harley, Deathstroke, and I think there's one more in there. I can't think of it right now.
The Arkham Knight?
No, not the Arkham Knight.
Robin?
No. You know what? I'm probably counting Miller Bats. So.
Oh, okay. I don't have any. The original, like the Batman that just came out, I think looks amazing, and like I'm very, very close to trying to get one myself. But I think I'm gonna hold out. The only one, I think Batgirl looks cool, but I'm probably gonna hold out until like the Catwoman is shown and released, and that's the one that I'll pre-order.
Do you guys know if the Batman Beyond is still on order? The exclusive, if it's still up, it's still available.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it's sold out, but
yeah, I hope it's sold out, man, because that thing was available for like 2 months. I can't believe it lasted that long. That piece is gonna be amazing.
You know, and I think we've had. Well, actually, we could probably talk about this later because the same thing is like with Captain Marvel and Dark Phoenix. With like, when something's released, if all you need to pay is an NDA, like I don't know why people wouldn't pre-order relatively close to that time. But I'll go into the next one for now. But this looks pretty nice. I mean, it seems like the details with Prime One statues is really out of this world. So I think it's probably going to turn out just as good as the current Batman that released.
They did a really good job on like the eyes and everything like that.
yeah, the eyes really pop. Yeah.
Let me show. Oh, it kicked me out of this.
Do you guys think that they're using the little stickers for the eyes, or do you think they're actually painting them on?
It's a good question. I don't know.
As long as I can't tell.
What did they do for the Batman that just got released? Does anyone know?
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So here's another piece. I think, Tony, maybe you're the one that posted this, but it's the Chronic Collectibles T-Rex. So is this from the Jurassic World movie? Because I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
Oh, is
from
it
the first Jurassic Park.
one? Oh, I don't remember this part.
That's after the kid. That's where the kid condo, right?
Yeah, all they need is the upside down Explorer under his foot, but that's that scene.
Does anyone have any dinosaurs? They look amazing.
That's Chronicle Collectibles?
Yeah.
Huh. No, I don't have any dinosaurs.
My wife really wants that piece, so we'll see. We might end up getting it.
Well, I've seen like the T-Rex and the King Kong pieces, and those look really cool. Or even like I think didn't Sideshow have like a dinosaur line?
They actually had a Jurassic Park piece from before, and I think I like that one better. It's the ending scene where it's like being attacked by the 2 raptors, and the banner's like falling.
Yeah, that one's
I guess
cool.
you can put the better. Yeah, I like that one a lot, but it's going for like what, like 1,200 right now online.
And you guys have to admit, man, that's an epic movie scene right there, man.
It is. It's very, very iconic.
Yeah. See that way you can't confuse it. Like you know that's from that first Jurassic Park movie.
So this is what just actually recently came out this week, I think, in comic book stores. It's the Kotobukiya Fine Art Black Panther line. So it's 6 scale, so it's about the same size as the Bowen piece. What do you guys think? I don't collect anything Black Panther, but I just recently, I think someone showed a picture of this Storm alongside the Bowen piece, and they said, what do you prefer? Do you guys prefer the more classic take where it's just a plain black costume, or do you guys like this one with the cape and a little bit more of the gold jewelry?
I like this look. I actually like the Panther and the detail of the base and everything. I don't think it's as nice as a lot of the core scale pieces that are coming out, but you know what? For the price,
Exactly.
They make good pieces. I only have the Carnage, but everything that I've seen and what I've seen at the comic store, they're nice and they got good weight. Good
Yeah,
piece.
so I was actually going to ask it because I should have picked it up today because I'm just now getting my very first Kotobukiya fine art piece. I, of course, have like a lot of the Bishojo pieces, and while they're not as cheap as the pot figures, they're also not like, I mean, they're pretty light, especially the newer versions. Like the older ones felt like they had a little bit more weight to them. But do you guys feel like the fine art line, between like the X-Men stuff that's come out and now when we're seeing more of just the Marvel line, do you guys feel like it's still pretty quality material compared to like what we've come to expect from Bowen pieces?
It it does. They do feel a little bit lighter than the original Kotobukiya pieces. I have noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
But the paint continues to be pretty consistent on them. I used to have some of the old X-Men ones. I had the Spider-Man one
Mm-hmm.
also. And I saw my friend Sal has the Rogue, the new one, where she's like hopping over that Sentinel hand.
Mhm.
And it looks really good. I mean, I could not see any flaws for. Kotobukiya is really great with faces and everything else.
Yeah.
This Black Panther I saw in person, and it actually looks really, really, really nice. The gold doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would.
I like the base a lot.
Yeah, I think the base really stands out for me too.
I like that it's
Yeah,
I
not
I
think it's
know,
it's,
right?
it's cool. It's cool.
cool.
I'd say if you're a fan of the character, it's a good piece.
Yeah.
And I think what's great that they have this type of line though is that it's an uh, affordable entrance, possibly for a lot of people that are like, especially because people that maybe are starting to collect nowadays, and we have much more expensive prices from Sideshow, for example, who is probably the most recognizable company of premium statues. I think this is a much more affordable alternative to people who can't quite justify those prices yet or can't afford them. I think that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I started.
I think it's cool.
I
And I
Um,
think
still
too also if you're like a big fan of that character, so you may have the quarter scale. Like if I was a huge fan of this character and I had the quarter scale, I would definitely get this piece as well to sort of complement. Because to have sort of the same character in different scales all sort of displayed together, I think it still works.
Yeah.
yeah, I got 1/6 mini bus, General Giant bus, 1/5, and quarter scale all over the place. And I think it looks good. I got it. I mean, all situated next to the same piece, so it doesn't look off next to each other. But like I have the Kotobukiya Carnage next to the Black Symbiote Action Spider-Man by Bowen, and it looks just fine.
Yeah.
So this is the XM Moon Knight that I think they announced it at the beginning of the year. They showed some of the 3D concept art, but I think this is the first time that they've now showed images of it like this, right? This just came out this week or end of last week. I think it looks badass. I think
Yeah,
it looks
Yeah.
really, really cool. I love that mask in the front. I love the pose. I think I've read a little bit of the Moon Knight comics. It's a really interesting character. So I think that hopefully he's going to gain a little bit more popularity. And being that we're seeing, I mean, there's this statue, and then there's another one.
I would love to be able to get that one.
Holy shit.
I think that's a home run.
Yeah.
So here's the
definitely.
other one. So this one we decided. So this is a custom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who made it, but I think that I much more enjoy the more like petite is the wrong word to
Dynamic
use.
pose.
Yeah, the more dynamic, but it's like this finesse. I just really like that pose. I think it looks good. And here he just looks overly bulky. It just seems a little bit boring. I do like the gargoyle, but I do think the other one just looks a little bit better.
Yeah. I think the other one is it just looks a lot raw. It looks raw as well. Like
Yeah.
it just the other one looks raw. It looks yeah. It's sort of interesting because the XM version of Moon Knight, what they're doing, they're really known for their elaborate bases. But in this case, that's not what they're doing with their Moonlight or Moon Knight. So
Well, one thing for sure with the XM, like that one hasn't been painted more. This one looks a lot more finished. And this one, in its finished product at least, because I'm a bigger fan of the XM too, but I think that this one looks pretty badass too. I like the texture and the shading of the cape versus his suit.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
for a custom piece, it looks very good. I just don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be if I could only spend money on one XM piece, I would probably get one premium format piece of Moon Knight. I would get the XM piece.
Yeah, and it's more. It looks like you're saying, like he's a little bulky here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that. If you remember, like the Finch. Have you ever seen the Finch art of him? He draws him pretty bulky. I think his name is David Finch.
Yeah, and he draws a lot of characters that way.
But I do like the XM way more. I'd love to have that piece.
Well, speaking of XM, here's the XM Venom. So here's a front view of it. So what is he standing on? A clock tower or like a broken
yeah, it's
clock?
a broken, yeah.
Clock. So I'm gonna show the most important view of him though. Into
that's looking really good.
this one right here. So
Is that the most important view?
that ass. Those are some really detailed muscles there. I mean, he clearly does very many squats. Not a problem for him. What do you guys think? Are you guys getting Venom?
Well, now that we're looking at this angle, oh man. Like,
I think you're asking the wrong set of guys.
I don't think Disney's going to approve that booty because they did not approve Rogues, so we're going to have to cover that up with some symbiote.
I didn't even notice anything about that Rogue debacle until you guys mentioned it.
Hey, it was a big issue, okay? I had a problem with it.
And that was like before my time. And then I got the statue. I thought the rear behind was fine. And then I heard you guys talking about it. Like I didn't realize that there was that big debacle about it.
Did you see the original though?
Yes, when I saw the posted when there was all the discussions later on. Yeah.
And what do you think now that you've seen the original?
Yeah, I could see that they made the changes. I see now, but I saw the before and after, and Sideshow made the changes.
So XM has a samurai-inspired line. We've seen the Samurai Batman, the Catwoman, and then here's this Japanese sort of not geisha, but Japanese-inspired Poison Ivy. She has the Asian sandals, so again sponsored by that. The plants that are kind of coming up her legs and all around her suit here. I think that if this is the pose that they're gonna go with, it's a little bit boring. I think they could do a little bit more with that.
Yeah, it just looks like some kind of nature woman at this point. It doesn't even look like Poison Ivy to me.
I think.
It's probably gonna change quite a bit before we actually see the final product. And so far, actually, I really like the detail. I don't know what's on her neck. It looks like a skull.
Like a skull chain.
I don't know what would be there, but I mean, I know they're very original with a lot of their stuff. I regret not getting that Batman the Genius anticipating. And I think that they're doing a great outlook. I also really enjoy I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of the wasteland they may be coming out with. I think that's going to be awesome looking too.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're planning on getting more than one piece, it would be really like a great setup to have the Batman, the Catwoman, the Poison Ivy, and all of this, Japanese inspired line. That'd be kind of cool. As someone who owned the Green with Envy, I love that pose. I love how it's really sexy. It's really perfect. I love how she's kind of like running her hands through her hair. So it'd be kind of cool if they did a little bit of that. One hand maybe pulling some of her hair back and another hand maybe extended out, almost like she's like calling to nature to pull some trees out of the earth, whatever Poison Ivy does.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool. What else do we have here? So XM also, while we're on this topic, released some new Spider-Gwen portraits. Not a fan at all.
No, me neither.
She looks chunky. The hair, she looks so much like Cameron Diaz. It's ridiculous. I don't see what's so flattering about this.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they're gonna make changes to that.
Oh, I hope so.
But yeah.
Her hair looks like cake frosting.
What was that one movie? That's Something About Mary?
Yes.
Something about.
Oh, that's why it looks like Cameron Diaz. Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, rather than have it. But I'm sure they're going to make quite a few
Well,
changes.
here's another view of this.
It's not that bad. I mean, they're trying to capture the emotion, and I understand what they're trying to do, and they can't go too thin on the hair because then it becomes too fragile for a statue. But
it looks like a mop. It looks like someone got a mop of. I mean, look, it's so thick, and her hair, her face is so big. Like, it's not a very flattering portrait. But, we also have less material of Spider-Gwen to go with, where, like, with a lot of these other characters, there's years and years of different variations of them. Spider-Gwen's only been around for, 2 years? And really, the only professional statue that's been made of her has been a custom piece by Salt and Pepper. Other than that, we've not received anything that's been super detailed. There's been a Marvel Legends figure, there's a pop coming out, and then there's a couple of smaller scaled stuff coming out later this year too. I mean, honestly, at this point, the Kotobukiya Bishojo figure looks way better than this. Like, the face looks way better than this. She's cute, it's petite, like, I just don't, as someone who really likes this character, I'm not impressed. And I won't be getting this, if this is what it looks like.
And the clock tower, everything about it so far. That was good.
What happened with the base? Are they keeping that clock tower thing?
I don't know. It seems that way. But
it was like a Playhouse clock tower.
Because the scale doesn't work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The scaling between, We'll see, though. I don't know. They might make changes.
Mike, did you see this?
So this is the NECA, a quarter scale articulated Deadpool statue, or figure, actually.
You talking about the Deadpool?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen this one yet.
So do any of you guys own articulated figures or collect them actively?
I have a Deadpool one right now. Not a fan of.
Me neither. Not like just that. I have a couple. I have 3 Marvel Legends. I have the Spider-Gwen, a Captain Marvel, and a Spider-Woman, and then I have like a couple of DC little DC ones that are based off of Jay Lee's artwork, and they're not big. They're not quarter scale. They're like the small little, I don't know, like 10th scale or something. And it is such a pain in the ass to, like, basically set these in the position that you want them in. Like, I admire people that collect articulated figures and are passionate about them, but they are so frustrating, and I can't imagine displaying many of them at one time. People have, like, literally display cases full of them. I mean, all it takes is, like, one small little tremor and it's like dominoes. Like, they all fall. Unless they have stands and bases, like I know, like a lot of times the play art figures used to come with these little. Sometimes they were clear, and other times they were made out of metal, and they would go around like the waist. But that looks so, like, I remember it looking really retarded when I had them.
Actually, for the Arkham ones, my comic book shop sells these little bases now that you can just put them on. So anyone out there. No, they have the little pigs in the feet. You just
that's cool. Okay, see, that's not bad.
Anyone listening that collects those, check with your local comic book shops, because they do say Arkham City or Arkham, whatever it is that the series is, and you can just put them on there so you have them standing instead of it if you take them out of the packaging, that is. But
also, the price of this Deadpool statue is very affordable. It just got put on Big Bad Toy Store, I think this week, for a new arrival, and I think I said it was like $110 or something.
Yeah, but it's a 1/4 scale, so it's just as big as these bad boys back here.
Yeah, so that's really cool for, I think, people. And in general, like, these statues, I mean, the Marvel Legends statues are like, they are MSRP for like $25, so they're much, much smaller. That's good. Other quarter scale stuff. So here's, this is a Valiant character, Rai. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that line or the comics, but he's a pretty popular character from Valiant, and this is like $350, I think.
Okay. I don't. This is the first time or actually the second time that I see a sculptor do this. Does it feel like they used 2 statues and put it into one? I originally saw it in a Hulk, where the shoulders and chest piece comes out. It looks like they just superimposed another statue.
You mean because the bottom, it's much narrower, like where his waist is.
No, not that. Like, see where the collarbone area is right here, and where his
Uh-huh.
traps are. Like,
Yeah.
it just seems like that would be his shoulders going into another body.
I don't think I've paid enough attention to that actually, but I can see it now.
Are you talking about that? Are you talking about that whole piece that sort of looks similar to that? Right.
That was a custom piece that I saw. It just
Mm-hmm.
the chest piece is like starts down here, and it just looks like it's another piece inside of a larger
This one doesn't
piece.
look as bad as the one that we're
No,
looking at, but still,
but it's
yeah.
similar. I'm just weirded out that they don't put the shoulders a little bit higher. That's so beautiful. I want
So
that kit.
I do too. I didn't know if it was allowed. There was a painted kit by someone on the Facebook group, the Statue Collectors group, and I think that person did a really phenomenal job with the paint application. It was shaded really beautifully. But this is a Wonder Woman Diana statue that's off of, I think, Model Museum. So it's just a bunch of different Wonder Woman kits, and they even have a couple different variations of this kind. But I think it's so awesome to see a Wonder Woman statue that's not in her typical armor. I mean, you can tell this is Wonder Woman. Like, and I feel like even if you showed someone that doesn't actively collect comics or is involved in this hobby, but they have a basic knowledge of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, I think they would still be able to tell that this is Wonder Woman. I mean, she still has, look at the base. She still has her wristlets here. A somewhat recognizable crown, and she just looks like Wonder Woman. So I think this is a really cool idea, and that was the first time I had ever seen it. Was just recently this week. And mad props to the girl that painted her kit, whose name I can't remember, but it's not this one. It actually looks even better. Would you guys ever buy something like this?
I would.
Me too.
Well, I don't do much DC, but that is a really nice piece. And there's I know, like kind of like you were saying, when I first saw it, I didn't know for sure who it was, but of course, the first person that came to my mind was Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen her look like that, but the gauntlets, I guess, were the giveaway for me. But it's a nice piece, really nice.
Hello, Diana.
All right. Well, let me maybe pull up just one more. Actually, that's probably. I don't think we want to talk about that yet. And then this is just something that came out today, so it's a Kotobukiya Spider-Man piece. And I mean,
Do you think they're just gonna put one of those clear bases on it, or?
I don't know how else he would be able. Well, actually, no. Maybe they're not going to, because I don't think the Deadpool ones have a base underneath them.
They do. I
They
have
do?
it. It's like a little, because his feet have magnets on it, and it's just a Deadpool
Oh,
little
yeah.
piece of metal.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I have the Cyclops one, and that's how it is too. It's
Yeah.
just.
So they're probably gonna have like a Spidey logo head or whatever on it, where he can sit on it. It looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks good.
for something that's probably going to be $30 to $40. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, and I think that's probably going to be it for statues. I do have a couple other things on here. So this week we had more Rebirth titles that came out. So there was the Wonder Woman Rebirth. I actually did read this comic, and I thought it was okay. To this day, out of everything I've read, I think the Green Arrow is still my favorite. But what I wanted to talk about was actually, what do you guys think of DC's new logo? Am I the only one that thinks it's pretty retarded looking? It reminds me of like a cheap little like logo you'd find on some counterfeit stuff at the flea market.
Their marketing department really did not spend any time designing that, or even the price tag. It just looks so cheap. Like, yeah, we get $2.99, and they had to do it in bold numbers, but they could have done it in a
More
much
fashionable,
more tasteful way. I think, yeah, man.
I agree.
Like,
I guess no.
it
I mean,
just,
in terms of the
Go ahead.
logo, I think they just went for a more simple. I don't know.
I just think that
I think,
there's so many different fonts, there's so many different options that they could have gone with. Like, this looks
pull it up for those of our viewers that have not seen the new DC logo.
Yeah, I haven't
If you
seen
can.
Let me find it, because I closed that tab.
Yeah. No, I think, especially for people that put like, instead of art, they'll put like the comic book pictures up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all that has something to do with it, because it's the whole thing, and sometimes like that, the whole big $2.99 thing threw me off. Like, just 'cause it's so big, and instead of it being like do some sort of design around it, like it could have been a Batman logo or something. That's it.
That's
Zach.
the logo.
Yeah, they're just going for classic, right? I don't know.
It just looks, it honestly just looks dumb. Like I just.
I don't know.
Hey, maybe that's how they were able to afford the $2.99 price tag. They cut down on their art department.
Well, it's funny because they have access to all these famous artists, but I'm sure none of those artists have anything to do with this logo. So.
Actually, speaking of comic book stuff and DC, I think they actually acquired Dan Abnett, who was someone that did a lot of work for Marvel. Like, he did one of the more notable Guardians of the Galaxy runs, the Annihilation Conquest. I think they actually just acquired the exclusive rights to him. And he had already been writing a couple of things for DC recently anyways, but I think this was just within the last couple weeks that they got him. So that's cool. Do you guys, well, actually, I don't think any of you guys really actively, Tony, you're the only one that kind of reads comics, right? Did you read anything recently?
I haven't. No, unfortunately, I've been busy with work and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm digging the Rebirth stuff. You were right, Batman. Once I read it again, I was like, eh. I haven't read Green Arrow, and you're making me want to go get it. So.
I actually heard out of all of the ones, everyone keeps saying that The Flash was really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
didn't get The Flash. I picked up, out of the ones that I picked up, Superman, Batman, and Green Lantern. Green Lantern was my favorite out of that set.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Wonder Woman wasn't bad. It's just I love Greg Rucka. He's one of my favorite writers. I loved his run the first time around on Wonder Woman. For anyone that's not read and has any interest in the character, it's a really good run. And I just thought this was a little bit confusing. Yeah. And I just think for
go ahead, sorry.
For a series, for them like wanting to remake and reintroduce a lot of these books and these characters, I just think that they need to understand that a lot of people are going to be jumping off and a lot of people are going to be jumping on with these books, and they just need to make them a little bit more accessible to those new readers. And so far, not all of them have really gone in that direction. I can see it being a turnoff. But again, these aren't really, like, they're not even the number ones. They're just kind of like a prelude. The official number ones are going to start coming out within, like next week, the first number one of Batman is coming out, and then the week after that. So, I mean, we'll see how things go with the actual official titles. Because
it didn't feel like you... Sorry, Gina.
Sorry, so these are just preludes? They're not the actual number one?
Yeah, they're just like, it's like DC Rebirth Wonder Woman, and then, like, in 2 weeks it's going to be just Wonder Woman number one.
I see.
That's why they all have that matching Rebirth logo at the top. Yeah. But to me it felt like when New 52 came out, it was like boom, like almost every single comic started out really strong, and I really enjoyed a lot of them. With this one, it feels like it's more of a 1.5. Like they're just like, oh, we're gonna launch this. Let's just put the story out there. It doesn't feel like they really put much thought into it. Hopefully, with the number ones, they will start strong. Like they did with the New 52. Because Court of the Owls, man, for Batman was great.
That was a really good.
Yeah.
I wonder if... Now, I didn't really read a whole lot of... So, honestly, I'm always mainly been more geared towards, like, Marvel stuff ever since I was really young. Because, like, when I was a kid, there was the Batman animated show, which was really good. But I definitely loved, like, X-Men. And I grew up... I have a cousin that's a year older than me, and he was really big into the X-Men comics. So I was more just I grew up more recognizing that side of things. So I never really kept up with Batman, like the comic book series in the 90s. And then I know that, like, in the 2000s, it was predominantly Grant Morrison. And then I kind of became more knowledgeable with the New 52, with Scott Snyder's run. And I think that as someone who's read a lot of Grant Morrison's other work and a little bit of the Batman stuff, he's a good writer, but he's definitely one of the writers that is like 50-50. Some people find him to be too dense, too confusing, too crazy, and they don't like his stuff. And then there's some people that absolutely love it. So do you think that, like, would you say that for this generation, of people, like even our age, who maybe have been reading comics for a long time, including a lot of Batman stuff, do you think that they're going to find Scott Snyder's run to be the definitive Batman? Or do you think people are going to go back to a lot of other stuff?
Don't know. I think Scott Snyder's stuff was really well written.
Mm-hmm.
He may be the Batman of our time, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
I, like yourself, was more of a Marvel person and kept up with the Marvel comics a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
New 52 actually drew me back into DC Comics.
Yeah, me too.
From Batman, Animal Man was great starting off. Aquaman was great. Even, it was just a lot of good stuff coming out. But, going back to that question, I think it's going to be hard to beat that Snyder story arc.
Mm-hmm. And Capullo, so it wasn't just, it was the book.
Yeah, Capullo. Well, yeah, Capullo was great. It was just a very well-written story. They took their time with stuff. They didn't rush through it. It felt good. They didn't go, oh, not well, what are we going to do? It all, when they were switching between villains, it went smoothly. It didn't just go, and here, we're going to start a whole new story. It actually felt like it flowed through very well.
I think Court of the Owls was probably my favorite of the storylines. Death of the Family wasn't bad. It was good. Zero Year was good. A little bit too long. I actually think that the weakest part was probably the end with the blue.
The end.
That was probably my least favorite of the whole entire 50 years.
I agree. I think Court of the Owls will always be one of my favorite Batman stories to date.
Mm-hmm.
I even picked up Talon because I love Court of the Owls so much.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Talon's actually pretty good. It started really strong, and then I was like,
Well, I think in general, I'm probably going to have less to talk. I mean, I'm going to pick up maybe very few of these DC books, but I think for the most part, I'm going to actually probably cut out collecting weekly comics because I have I have so many books to read through, and like recently, that's what I've been doing. I've been on a huge Wolverine kick, like not just in terms of collecting statues, but I've been reading a lot of his stuff because I've been such a big fan of his, but I've just never really dedicated a whole lot of time to his solo series. So I picked up some of the Claremont stuff, and just recently, speaking of Greg Rucka, I finished the Greg Rucka line, which is kind of the beginning. So the Wolverine title was relaunched in the 2000s, and it started with Greg Rucka's run. Then went to like a series by Mark Millar, who like a lot of you guys will know has written like Kick-Ass. Gosh, what else has he come out with that's pretty notable? That's really what I mainly know him. He's like a convoluted kind of person to have.
Like about Kick-Ass.
But yeah, so he wrote a couple of really popular stories. So Enemy of the State, Old Man Logan, that's where we see him. And then it goes to Jason Aaron. So I'm really excited about making my way through that. But yeah, I'm going to probably stop collecting because I literally have just so much. I'm going to be my Uncanny X-Men, who I know that Zach already has his omnibus. Daniel has his. Mine should be coming in the mail this week. So maybe when that comes in, we can have a little readathon.
The original story or the newer story?
No. It's like the original, like from the 70s.
It starts.
That.
Yeah. So it's the Claremont and the Byrne run.
Oh man, yeah. I've been wanting to read those. You guys are gonna have to talk me into it because it's a lot.
Pick it up in stock trades while it's still there. It's like $50-something. It's worth it.
Really? Yeah, I'm actually gonna stop like yourself. I see myself maybe getting a couple of singles, but I'm gonna start going into trades and omnis a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
I know Rachel did her latest Sex Criminals, so they came out with a new issue on that, at least in the last month or so. We haven't been in there a while. But I know I jumped on the Moon Knight one. He's going to try to back issue all the Moon Knights for me and then get me on that. And issues that, saying it's good.
The Moon Knight that was written by Warren Ellis was really good. That was the one that I read. And then once him and the rest of the crew kind of jumped off, that's when I stopped as well. Even with like Image Comics, I think I'm only going to be reading like Saga, and that's probably it. I just it's not even a cost thing because on Comixology they're not priced badly. I'm saving money by not having to drive to the comic book store. It's just that I find that if I continue to buy these, because I like myself, like if I like a series, not only will have I been buying it in single issue format, but then I end up rebuying it in a collected format. Yeah. I know. That saga is definitely one of my favorite series, and I do think they need to make more comic-related premium statues. Like Saga would be an excellent one to do because it has such a big fan base.
What would you get if? What would be the first character you want them to make out of Saga?
Well, I already the Skybound or whatever store, like the Image store, actually is releasing a Lion Cat statue that I have pre-ordered.
No.
Yeah, but I think even if they made like a 12-inch comic that was both Alana and Marco together, I really think that would be cool. Like, I just want more material from these. You know, we have so much Walking Dead stuff already. I just wish that they would venture out a little bit more.
Actually,
I would
like
want.
Sorry, yeah.
Go
Who
ahead.
would you want? No, who would you want, Tony?
The Lion Cat, I think, would probably be something cool to have because it's iconic and everyone knows that it's from Saga. Well,
Yeah, you should. Or
Liberty,
it's like $100. It's not that bad.
Go ahead, Gina. Sorry, I keep interrupting you every time you talk.
No. No, I was gonna say I would like a quarter scale Sandman.
That would be cool. They actually don't have anything that big about it.
Yeah, or Death. I have the DC collectible, which I think is like 1/6 scale, which is beautiful. It's really, really well done. It's really well painted. It's beautiful. But yeah, I mean, I've always found it strange that they haven't done a quarter scale Death or Sandman.
If you guys were to pick which one to get first, Saga or Sandman, the Omnibus.
Well, Saga doesn't have an omnibus yet. It just has like a deluxe edition, which is like the first 18 issues. So it's more affordable because even with Sandman, the omnibus. So I have the omnibus, and I think everyone else has like the absolute editions. The omnibus are like $70. You can probably find them for each one, and there's 2. And then for the absolute editions, there's I think 4 or 5.
What is it like?
They're $50 each. The Saga
The
Deluxe
absolutes?
edition is the absolutes. The Saga Deluxe edition I think is like $30.
50.
Well, yeah, but you can buy it on in-stock trades for like $30.
Well, yeah.
The absolute editions are
You
actually
need to teach me
$100.
about that.
It's just the website. There's nothing to teach. It's a website, and it sells everything at least at like 40% off. A lot of the more independent
Teach
stuff is like
me.
30% off.
They pro ship like their.
Yeah,
I think it's a really nice. The book
And what,
packaged it really well.
and what else is good about them is you don't get charged tax and you don't get charged shipping if it's more than 50 in it.
We don't get charged tax.
No way.
But I think anyone that lives in that state does. So it's just like California. If we buy stuff from within California,
Yeah, exactly.
I will say something to especially us that are in California, do not ever order from cheap graphic novels because they have some of the worst customer service ever. I ordered something for them that was sold out through in-stock trades. It was way more expensive through Amazon, and I needed it for an upcoming con. Now, mind you, these people are based in California, like about 6 hours away. I ordered something 2 weeks in advance, thinking, okay, they're in California. Even when I buy stuff from like New York, with Media Mail, it comes within 7 to 10 days. So I'm like, okay, with California, like it should be here by the time the con comes. It never did. It took like over 2 weeks for this box to arrive. I emailed them twice about it, and they brushed me off saying, well, it's already been dropped off, when motherfuckers, no, it wasn't, because it wasn't even accepted into like USPS for like a week. We end up paying shipping and tax. So for us that are like not in Tennessee or wherever else In-Stock Trades is based, they really are the absolute best like company to buy stuff from. They have amazing customer service. The prices are like the best that I've ever come across. Immaculate packing, like Zach said. I mean, I've never had a book arrive damaged, and I know that when people have, they immediately take care of you and like send out a replacement. I mean, I have no complaints, and for the most part, they really get stuff out really quickly. Unless you're buying something that's very popular or high in demand and they run out, then you usually have to wait till like the next week when they order things again from their distributor, and then they send it out.
If you end up getting a damaged book, do you have to send back the damaged book?
I don't think so. I think from people, like, they've usually been able to keep it, and then they just send them. I think you just have to show them, like, probably send them a picture that shows the damage.
Percent of the damage. Yeah.
And then they just send you a replacement, so that I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a complaint about the company, and there's a very big group on Facebook dedicated to like omnibus and hardcovers, and I mean, I think they would probably be the first ones to complain about them if there was an issue, and I've never seen anything but very positive responses. And I've been using them for like 3 years, and I have nothing but really good things to say about them.
That's cool. Yeah, you're gonna have to shoot me that.
I'm gonna go buying stuff because it's very affordable, but.
Yeah, because my comic shop is 20% off, but if you're getting it at 30 to 40, sometimes I hear you guys say 50% sale.
Yeah,
like,
so
that's
50,
crazy.
it's 50 for the first week.
Only for some items. But it usually ends up being like the more notable items. So if you have like an omnibus coming out that week, 90% of the time it's going to be 50% off. So it's even less expensive than Amazon.
They even have shit on there that's 70% off.
Oh, I don't think I've come across anything
Really?
like that.
Yeah. As soon as you open up their page, they advertise it on the top of the page, 70% off select items.
Don't worry, Chesky, you probably already read it like 4 years ago.
Check this out. So I'm not a big bus person, but that picture, like, it would be great as a bus to have them both together with, I don't know.
There's
The statue.
There's a comic cover in there that's actually one of my favorites of all time, and it's basically one of the main characters, Alana, and she's sitting on a plane screen and she's reading a book.
Yes, that's so great.
Yeah, I think it would be difficult to transition to a statue, but if they were able to do that, I think that would be perfect.
My local shop, actually, their stores business cards have that picture on them.
Really?
No way.
Yeah.
No.
That's cool.
It's a very, very cool cover. I'm trying to see if it's in here. It was like number 12 or 14, I think, right?
I think it's, there's a lot of people that always ask, and especially not to be stereotypical or biased, but a lot of times it's men that are saying, oh, hey, we really want to get our wives or our girlfriends into comic book reading. What do you guys recommend? And I know I personally have received that question a lot, and I honestly, Saga is one of the first books that comes to mind. I think it's very easy. Very easy to enjoy. The art is amazing. So for a lot of people that are like, especially us adults that have jobs, that have lives, it's, if you're going to dedicate time to reading a book, you want to make sure it's, like for me personally, I'm kind of done with reading things that I don't like the art for. And so Saga has really beautiful art. I mean, look at that.
There it is.
It's so amazing. But yeah, the story is good. I like almost everything Brian K. Vaughan writes anyway, so I'm a little bit biased in that sense. Fables is another one. I know that near the end of it got to be really long and probably extended its stay, but it's for people that like Once Upon a Time, the show, it's basically kind of, I think they got the idea from Fables. Sandman is definitely another one, but it is a little bit older, and I think that some people may have a hard time with the art because it's a little outdated. I mean, it doesn't disqualify the fact that the quality that Neil Gaiman has written is good, but I just think nowadays, like, people may not they may not find that quite as good as they did when it was coming out, or for people that are just more interested in, more hardcore comic book collectors.
Yeah. No, I think also that sort of Sandman could also be a bit heavy to start with. I don't think it's an easy read as you're trying to figure out what's happening, especially in the very first few books. So. But it's
very good.
And it's interesting because that's it's such a popular series that they haven't really been able to translate it into a movie yet. So
the recent person that was hooked to it, Jordan, what's his name, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
I think he dropped out because he said they were having creative differences.
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely. So basically, the studio is probably telling him, well, you have to make it sort of easy to digest for the public and. Whatever.
Yeah, it would have to appeal to non-fans also because a lot of people don't know about Sandman.
Yeah.
So it would have to be where they can introduce the character without them just going straight into the story. Because I read a little bit of it, and I can see how it could get confusing to people that don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. But even if you're not really into graphic novels or comic books, Neil Gaiman, I think I mentioned this on the show before, but Neil Gaiman has a great interview about just the whole creation of that series. And he gave the interview in New York for an audience, and it's like an hour and sort of, I think maybe an hour and a half. And it just gives the history or sort of the background of what it takes to make a graphic novel and what's involved in terms of editors, artists, cover artists, just the whole sort of dynamics and how it works, how to put it together. It's really, really interesting. Like, you don't have to be a fan of comic books, you don't have to be a fan of graphic novels, but just to see how this type of art gets put together. It's really, really interesting. Yeah, he's mentioning how some of the artists, had sort of problems with timelines, and the first one had to be fired, and things like that, and just really, really cool stories. Yeah.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about, or?
Everyone should be watching Preacher. It's a great show.
I caught the first episode, and man, that thing is intense. It's a lot more intense than you'd think, and it was not in the direction that I at all expected. Like, I wasn't thinking that show is going to be anything like that, like, at all. Yeah, like, are they? I mean, they're vampires or demons or like what the fuck is going on in that show? You know, like, I mean, is it clearly vampires?
To find out. The second. The second episode.
What is happening?
My awesome coworker decided to get this so I could read it because he had it and it got destroyed. So he ended up buying it again. So I'm going through it right now, and I can't wait to see what happens on the show.
Yeah, I can't believe the show like pushes the buttons that much. Like, they do a really good job. Yeah. So.
Someone sent me a message that said that I look sober today. Was it really that bad last time?
All right, guys. Well, should we call it a night until we can have a full house maybe next time with some great topics. I personally had a really good time tonight.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
And maybe next week, your job this week, Zach, is to take your beautiful wife out and go watch X-Men Apocalypse.
I do need. Yeah, that's gonna happen. It will happen.
Because I think that would be a fun thing to talk about next week. We know Itch has some fun things to say about it.
No more promises, Zach. Do it. Take her out. Get some popcorn.
Do it.
I'll have
to go. Some fun.
When at work, I'll have to go by myself.
The peer pressure. You gotta do it, Zach. So we can have an episode dedicated to that movie.
Coming over to babysit. Come on. What are you guys offering?
Hey, for you guys watching, I know we talked that we may not want to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways. If you guys have any questions about us personally or anything in particular you guys want us to go over, just comment and let us know, and we might hit it up.
Message Tony.
Can't promise it that we're going to talk about it because, we're Debbie Downers here. And
just ask Tony how many times he oils his beard.
No, I do it once a day. I can't brush it more than once a day because it starts falling out if you do it too often.
Really?
Once a day.
Yeah, you have to only do it once a day. See? It's a rule.
Don't oil backs at the same time. We started with beards and we'll end it with beards.
Like, you can't. We'll have a beard segment of the night.
Well, what are you not gonna do?
You guys could maybe try it on your hair and see if it works.
I'm down. I'll try it.
It's soft. It doesn't itch. I don't have flakes. Terrible. But thank you all for watching.
Have a good night.
Have a good one, guys. Yeah, peace.